Yesterday should have been a really good day. We were finishing up this project that we've been looking forward to for a long time. I was going to make a great video to share with you, but by the end of the day, I was as miserable as I've ever been. Couldn't get out of my own way. You know, honestly, it might have been my worst day ever, and that's actually saying something. I hate to use labels on myself and others because when you label somebody, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If I were to say I'm a serial procrastinator, then well, actually I am a serial procrastinator, so let me find a better example. Okay, I actually do have to label myself today. You see, I have attention issues. And yesterday, my ADHD was, well, it was completely out of control. You know that video I said I was going to make for you about that big project we were doing? Well, we're going to still show it to you today, including a whole bunch of real cringe-worthy clips, because it's a message I really want to share with you. It was a project that I'm very happy about. Forgive me, we've got somebody on the roof. I grew up with a father who could do anything. He could do electrical, you name it, he... There's a battery power and a cell control... 9,000 watt hours. Picked them up, I think, in Tucson. I don't know. Ow. As well as another story about, and you'll have to forgive me, I'm up here hiking at 8,000 feet and air is not my friend right now. I have a story I want to share with you as well about a guy I met, the guy who worked on our project, and my complete lack of all social, and it wasn't pretty. I'll tell you that story in a second too. But first, I gotta tell you the story of what I'm like on a normal day. I struggle with memory and concentration, and I have to use a whole lot of self-loathing and self-anger just to get myself through any project, through any task. You see, focus is not one of my life skills. It never has been. And in fact, let's start the story there with this guy in first grade. Hi, Future Rick here, and I swear you can't make this stuff up. I was just editing all the clips that you just saw, and right when I got to the part of first grade Rick, I never recorded first grade Rick because, well, I got a little confused, so I'm going to give you the short Reader's Digest version right now. First grade Rick was exactly as you expected him to be. The kid that couldn't sit still, the kid that couldn't really take directions from his first grade teacher. For instance, if she would say, "Hey class, let's start reading." Well, in my head, reading somehow led to magazines, which led to newspapers, and I decided I wanted to make a newspaper, so I'd get big sheets of paper out and I would draw, and of course she'd get pissed off, yell at me, and well, it was the 60s. Teachers were allowed to do that back then. But basically, I couldn't concentrate on anything that they wanted me to concentrate on. Now, there's some things that did interest me and I did pursue them, but generally speaking, I almost failed first grade because I couldn't grasp anything, I couldn't hold on to anything, and it's pretty much been that way for the rest of my life. All right, let's get back to what I recorded earlier. I'm sure you might see me again. What was the big project that I couldn't quite get on film? Well, it's putting solar panels on top of this bus. You would think that would be the simplest of projects. You take a solar panel, you put it on a bus, you make a video, voila, everybody's happy. But no, I had to confuse it. I had to have 5,000 different storylines all going on concurrently. I had to refilm things, refilm over like I'm doing right now. You have no idea how many times I've had to film this little segment just to explain the bad segment from before. So let me regroup and we'll get back to this. You see, here's the thing. It's not just making videos. It's every project. We built this bus in about 6 months, and the entire thing, every single little thing I did in there required at least 8 times the time that it should have taken the time because I can't concentrate. And I'll give you a good example. Let's say I'm going to put in some plumbing. Well, I'm like, okay, I got my pipes, I've got my tools, and I just rushed to go put in the plumbing, and I forgot 14 different things because in my rush to go do something, I couldn't be bothered to actually think about all the stuff that I might actually need. Yeah, I'm one of those guys that gets up and down 27 times just to get all the things that he couldn't remember, and I do that with filming videos as well. This is the story of my life. I can't focus on a thing. I'm always jumping ahead 17 moments into the future, and by the time that future gets here, I've moved on to something else as well. So Rick, you're saying, why don't you take medication? Why don't you pop a little pill and the rest of the day you'll be fine, just like the rest of us? Well, no, I've tried it. It gives me this disconnected, psychotic feeling that I can't do anything. I can't be productive. I can't even think straight because my head is, I don't know where it is. It doesn't work on me. So instead, I use the tried and true methods of, well, self-anger, loathing, and hatred. Okay, let's talk about my little social faux pas yesterday. It was a little bit embarrassing. I am normally a very social person. The guy who was putting our solar panels on, he was very friendly, very chatty, asked me a lot of questions, but he would say something like, "So, where did you grow up?" And I'm spending the next 4 minutes in my head wandering about every single place I've ever been, every single place I've ever touched, and I blurt out, "Woodley Hills Elementary." And he would just sort of look at me like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, I was answering some other question that was in my head. I'm sorry that you weren't along for the ride with me." I don't know how to concentrate sometime, and I'm sure he's sitting there in his house going, "This guy I met yesterday, oh my God, what a wacko." Yeah, at least his check didn't bounce. Okay, let's get back to the project, or I should say projects, because there were two of them. One was the video, and one was the solar panels. And let's just start with the video. I've already shown you some cringeworthy clips already, but this is the rest of it. This is why I couldn't put together a video to save my soul, and which is why I'm kind of talking to you now. Hi, I'm Rick, and I've got two problems today. Well, actually, I've got more than two problems. I got a whole lot of problems. Problem number one. Do you see that bus back there? Cost a lot of money to park it and plug into electricity. Now, we like... Now, another reason for having a professional do this, and not yours truly, are holes. We got to put a lot of holes in this bus to get this solar panels working. No. Now seems like a really good time to kind of talk about the last video that I made. Now would be a good time to interrupt this video to talk about what an idiot I am. It was worth the money. Everything doesn't have to be in cash. I don't have to work on this bus anymore. That was the biggest reason. That's the biggest thing that I wanted to have someone professionally do this. So would I call the project a success? Absolutely I would. We are energy independent right now. Driving just the 2 or 3 hours we're on the road, we can top off the batteries just by, well, just living underneath of the sun. We do have the portable panels out right now, so we will get to 100% before the end of the afternoon, and we can just live anywhere we want, knowing that we don't have to worry about electricity. We don't have to go to an RV park to hook up. We don't have to pay for any of that, which, by the way, was his other whole little side topic I was going to do. Can we save money by not going to RV parks? Well, maybe I should have just talked about the solar panels, because after all, that's really the whole story. If you've been following this channel for any length of time, you will know that I've bounced around a lot. Started talking about relationships, then I did cooking, and then I kind of did travel. Travel turned into bus life, which turned into slow living life, which turned into how humans work life, which turned into, well, the only thing I'm really good at is chaos. The only thing that I can really teach or tell anybody about is what it's like to live with this brain. Now, I don't want to make the whole channel about this brain, but I do hope it explains a little bit about this journey and everything that you're about to see into the future. It's all going to be tinged with. One of these days, I'm just going to do an entire blooper video of just the 47 outtakes of every single scene, because you would not believe how hard it is to get this to talk to you, to actually make a coherent message. So I hope that explains things. Thanks for watching.